Hello everyone, this is Jerem. This is the 5th episode of me playing the What a Blast update of Oxygen Not Included. So I think we're going to start off by trying to get access to this area and cut this off. This is a cool steamed vent. It may be cool, not producing 500 degree temperature steam, but still pretty warm. Let's have a look at the temperature. I have a lot of coolness in this area, but I've got a cool slush geyser and a cool salt slush geyser. So lots of liquid, no real need for liquid coming from steam. So let's turn that off now. So we'll dig a path to it, and we'll build a wall around it such that we can essentially choke it off from producing any more hot steam. Dupe is idle. Looks like I've got research now complete. Did that in the last episode on producing glass forge. Let's go after solar panels. At the same time, I noticed that this is starting to look pretty full. This is the output of the toilets, lavatory, and sink, and all of that. So I want to treat that liquid. We're going to put that in here. Let's get rid of this ethanol that's in the way. So I'm going to put the ethanol up here into a liquid reservoir storage. That pump is going to need power if I actually want to get it there. What I'm going to do essentially is build a place to treat polluted water in this area, specifically remove the food poisoning that's in it. Now, I'm a little bit worried about the toilets becoming overflowed. So I'm going to build a second one of these liquid reservoirs. Let's look at the water situation. Not a lot of water left from this particular guy, but it's not out, and this one needs to be dropped if I want to pump any more liquid from there. Like a liquid source down here as well. Also want to remove the polluted water that's from here, so let's put a liquid reservoir. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Let's put a liquid reservoir right here and see if we can remove all the polluted water that's down there. So new blueprint, let's check this out. Senuma jelly jacket. What the heck is a jelly jacket? I have no idea. I don't know if I'll ever be interested in that, but there it is. So we get this second liquid reservoir that's being built to store extra polluted water out of here. Ultimately, we want to dig out this area and create a place to treat that polluted water from the showers, sinks, and lavatory. Making progress in removing the ethanol from that zone. Let's check down here. We're still digging a path down here. This thing is very much active. Definitely want to have that cool down before we actually build a wall around it. So the ethanol now is gone. We can create a door over here to maintain the status of the washroom. We're going to develop a place over here. Actually, I want to remove some of this material because I'm going to actually block off a place the dupes will never be able to go again. At least for the point where I have this room functioning. So I want to dig down a little bit so light is going to get through. No need to have that door closed. This one as well. Oops. There we go. Okay, so the dupes have made their way down here. So we can close this off. It is still active, so we'll have to be careful of that, but make progress when that thing becomes inactive. Now this thing is clogged up. Let's dig out another liquid reservoir. Store it right there. Now this is polluted water that does not have food poisoning. Well, as the liquid reservoirs above is polluted water, but it does have food poisoning and it's continually increasing. Do something about that in time. So this is the area I've designated to process polluted water, or not just polluted water, but polluted water that has food poisoning. So I'm gonna have 2 of these doors that I can open and close with automation. I'm gonna have a clock in there to tell each of these doors when to open and close. So we'll be building this out of aluminum, I guess will be fine. So I want to generally put this through a NOT gates. In this case it's lead, that doesn't really matter. Then we're building this out of all kinds of different metals, that's fine. So essentially we're going to put the clock through a NOT gate, that's going to go into the door. And we're going to use that to control when the door is open and closed. So we're going to have liquid go in here. So this liquid is the polluted water that has food poisoning. That's going to be going from here to here, and ultimately from here out. And the idea, this will be clean water that does not have food poisoning. And actually, the water that goes here will also be clean water, but with food poisoning. So it's just a matter of, we're just treating the food poisoning aspect. The polluted water will be our water system. Now, this whole thing works on the basis that I have chlorine exposed to the liquid reservoir. Before I create that, I need to have a vacuum in there. That's why I've got this pump in the middle. Now I've got a place to dump chlorine in this zone. This pump is going to need some power. Dukes are making good progress on this system here. We'll also need a place for chlorine. I see some little bit of chlorine right here, so that will do. Looks like all the construction now is ready. Let's just slow things down a little bit, shall we? So as I mentioned, we need to have water steep in here. That's going to convert the polluted water to just regular water. That regular water will go into this system, eventually be coming out. And the polluted water will be going into here. The idea is when this thing is closed, liquid is able to come out, that's water. And I want to be able to load this thing here, this liquid reservoir, in the first part of the day. So I'm going to put 32, beginning of the day. And I'll make this 32 again. And this is going to be at the third part of the day, 66. So the idea is in the morning, this thing loads this thing with liquid. For the second part of the day, down here, we will have this thing sitting with chlorine, so essentially the food poisoning will be killed during that process. And then the last third of the day right here, the liquid will be coming back out, and I can actually use that for anything that involves water that does not have food poisoning, so I can close that off. I'm going to vent that thing, so I want to take the oxygen out first. That's the first thing that has to happen before I pump in some chlorine. So we'll get this bit ready. So I'll have a gas filter. It's going to pump this into here. I'll have chlorine that's going to send it from here to here. Now I'm not going to actually connect this. I'll just put it like that for now. These two things are going to need some power. We'll connect this as well. I'll just save the last little connection until this actual door is ready. So how about we let the dupe speed things up? I'll let the dupes build this, and I'll be back. Not a lot of time has gone, and I realize that the washrooms are not being used. It's not because the backup here, or the output, it's actually the input. Now, I do have a little bit of water. What is going on? I think this is causing confusion. Let's remove that. That is gotta go. Essentially, this water here is confused because it sees an output at this point. So that's the type of thing you gotta be careful about in this game, particularly with pipes, gas lines. But if this dupe removes that, there we are. We got water going down, and dupes have made a mess. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to clean that up. It is what it is. But water is pouring out. Now that's not a lot of water. I'm gonna run out of that pretty quickly. So we're gonna find a different source for that. Let's think about that right now. Connect this in with this little cache of water. Not a lot here either, but it will at least get us by for a short period of time. This is currently empty of the polluted water that was there. It's decent. More mopping up here. This thing here needs to be told what to filter. That is chlorine up here. So now that this wall exists, I can connect this. We should see this have a, there it is, the pump is pushing gas into this area here to create vacuum over here. Let's check on this guy here that's still running, so I can't do anything with that. The pips, on the other hand, now with the polluted water gone, I can create my plan here doing this. Eventually I'll dig out this area and hopefully have this acorn planted somewhere along here. For a gift. Pip eggs. Supply. Is there any dupes? No, not interested in those dupes. But next time the printing pod has a dupe that I like, I'll be taking them. And we'll be taking on 8 dupes at that point. So I now have a vacuum in this area. I want to put chlorine in there. Before I do that, I definitely want to remove this. And not only that, just remove the power connection pump as well. And with that, I can now direct chlorine that's filtered in. So I can get a little bit of chlorine. I don't need a lot, just the tiniest amount will kill any food poisoning that's stored there. I can see some going in, so water is going in at this point. It is currently, let's see, second part of his day, so this thing will be emptying. Currently doesn't have anything, but this is gonna, this portion here is gonna wait for the beginning of the day to send this over. Don't need this to run anymore. Just need the tiniest amount of chlorine. It's just wasted power for the time being. So we can stop sending polluted water down here. But this does have polluted water. If I click on this, polluted water that has food poisoning, so we need to process that. So we'll send this back up. To be cleaned out. Now we just need to take this water here that no longer has food poisoning. That can be used for oxygen, that can be used for the sinks, showers, anything like that. Unfortunately, we've got water source up here, water source down here. This one's currently not on. So I have to be careful about how I arrange all of this. So maybe I will go have a think about how I want to do that, and I'll be back to show you what my plan is. Let's see a dude fixing this hold on. Is he fixing this machine? Or no, he's got the. I was worried that some damage happened to that machine. Never mind. False alarm. Oh, whoa, not entirely false alarm. Actually, carbon dioxide. That would actually cause that to break. Whoops. So actually, we do have a problem. Ah. Okay, let's raise that. This needs to be changed. Change this to be 50 seconds and destroy that pump. And in the meantime, let's get rid of the non-hydrogen elements that are in that pipe. This all depends on this thing not moving this thing along by one. And as well as the dupes being fast enough. There we go. So dupes cut that gas out, so that's going to avoid that pump taking some damage. Let's actually remove that and wait for this to be dug out a little bit more. And we'll relocate the pump up here with a safer way of taking that out. Right here, we're going to have to be very careful about all of this. So now we need another source of water that can be provided here as long as we connect that. Check that we have power. Good. Hope that will last as long as this body of water lasts. So here's my thoughts on storing excess water that comes out of this system. I'm gonna build a pump, or a ladder rather, up here. And the idea is, I was worried about storing water, certainly concerned about storing water here at 43 degrees. That's excess water that comes from here. 33 degrees, still not great. I would rather store it at, currently it's about 0 degrees here, 2 degrees. Rather store it in a cooler location. So I'm going to choose to do that. Store that up in this zone. The idea here is the water from here, this is the clean water, is going to make its way up here. Jump over this line. Can now get rid of that. And we're going to store water at this location. Liquid pump right here. And liquid reservoir right there. And the idea is this liquid is going to go into here. If we can't make it in there, it's going to drain right here. Essentially store in this little extra area. We're going to close this off eventually, but for the time being, we'll just leave it like that. This pump is going to take liquid that's... let's remove this. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Cancel. Let's just... There we are. So yeah, I want to build a pump right there. Let's put that back. And that's going to take water that's here. But if there's water that's inside the liquid reservoir, it's going to prefer to take that. And this is going to be my water line going out. So this is water line going in, cleaned water, and this is water going out.
This can go into the system. So the oxygen, the shower, everything in the future is going to have line driven from here. Just wait for the dupes to do some digging and building. We'll be back to put the final touches on this. Did not plan this well. This is outputting liquid. We can disable that, or at least build this. Stop this leak. Dupes, please, someone. Soggy heat, I don't care. So we'll just build a tile there or disable that. Whew, okay, there we go. Alright, clean up on this floor. Made a mess. Down here as well. And we'll just put that as high priority, though I don't think it's going to overfill anytime soon. I think we can safely enable that now. So what was happening is, well, you can see it here, liquid is being sent up here. It's going to go into here. And when this thing becomes full, it will be drained out. It is connected, right? Yeah, you just can't see it. Okay, so that's going to give me a water line going out. Just put it down here, and the idea is this will go into the washrooms and make its way to the various oxygen machines, electrolyzers. I'm going to change this setup for any new water instead. The system gets confused when you inject water into two different points, so I'm going to have water sent here instead. It's going to push water into here. And we just have more work for the dupes to be able to catch up on now. See some skill points ready to be given out. Quite a bit, actually. So, builder. Let's give you the ability to go through Bissolite. Chef. More carrying. Engineer. Ooh, Manatronics engineering. We can use that at some point. Faster walking or carrying? Let's give you faster walking. Rancher. Rancher gives carrying, scientist, data analysis, researcher. There we go. We're caught up on our skill points. Digging out the spot here for the pips. Put in some arbor acorns. Hoping these pips are going to plant it. Let's guide them into where to plant it and not to plant it. I'm hoping. So yeah, we got to remove the seed here. Doesn't have anywhere to go. We'll build a storage bin for the seeds down there. So I'm hoping one seed will be planted here, and another seed will be planted here. The last episode is waiting for 2 trees in this room. Finally have that now. 2 trees here, 2 trees here. Each of these rooms have 2 trees. I believe 3 pips per tree, or 6 pips per room. Since I have 2 trees per room, except for up here, but we will have that in time. Print available. Dig, supply, doctor. Decorating, cooking. Let's. I'm ready to take on new Duke, but I'll just wait till I get one of the skills, interests that I like. Here we are. If I go in here, I click on seeds, high priority, sweep only. me. This builder picking it up. Excellent. Forgotten about this guy here. Let's see. It's quiet at the moment, so let's see if we're lucky and we can block this off. What is some material that is local granite up in this area? So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 there. Start that process of blocking that off. Actually, I better stay in the area to make sure that the dupes don't become overheated. If it becomes active again. Pilot, you're doing important work. Yo. And it looks like it's going to be turned back on again. So let's keep seeing that. Maybe we can be sneaky enough to have the dupes build those two at least. And I'll have to come back when this is no longer active. So the 2 pips up here didn't waste too much time in planting 2 trees. So now I have 2 trees in every room. They have to grow up in order to actually provide branches, but they will in time. So what I'm going to do now is click on this. I've got pip and pip's weak. Got level 6. We're going to put 6 of them per room. Copy this and apply that setting everywhere and start wrangling pips that are around so we can domesticate them all, producing even more eggs. Get the ones that have hatched from here as well. And that's just going to move us closer to having barbecue meat for everyone going forward. See too many other pips hiding around. Hopefully that's all of them. So we've got Rancher in these rooms that don't have any light. Well, technically there may be light because of that shine bug at the moment, but what I like to do, what I'd like to see, is a bunch of sensors to turn lights on and off in these rooms. So put these in. This doesn't really matter what side is what, but I'm going to put a sensor here on the left. I'm going to put ceiling light next to each of those. Automation next to each of these. And all we need after this is some power. And every time Rancher is in these rooms, they'll be able to actually see what they're doing. This must have been old construction. We'll get rid of that. What I'd like to see right now is a place to handle the polluted water that the dupes have been essentially barfing up. That's in various places of the base. So I've got a pump here for it. I'm going to have bottled water here. Anytime the dupes find any bottled water or polluted water, they're going to dump it in here. This is what's going to go up and be treated just as if it came from the washroom. Just going to be careful about how I load this in actually, because I don't want it to overload this particular guy here. So I might actually push it through like this. Put polluted water right here. This is going to need some power, of course. It's going to allow the tubes over time to put all these water bottles in here so they can treat it instead of staying around the base. One area in particular I was concerned about is polluted water that's down here. so that will empty in time and be treated. There's polluted water here. I might have a different use for those, so I'm going to keep that separate for the time being. Probably handle that in the next episode, maybe. So this guy down here doesn't seem to want to stop being active. So I may have to handle that with in the next episode. But I think that's going to do for the time being, for this episode anyways. I've been digging out over here. Been digging up, so next episode we'll probably put in that pump up there. But we've got some water. We got a water treatment plant essentially. So we're converting polluted water to regular water. This system over here is removing the food poisoning. Any excess water is being put in here. And this liquid reservoir essentially is our water source for the base, for the pretty much everything, washroom and oxygen. Oh, I don't have this connected. That would be a nice thing. But if this isn't providing enough water, and it won't over time because electrolyzers are burning some off, we still need this as a water source, and I'm going to have to pivot from down here into other ones. Eventually, we're going to have to use some of these geysers as an ultimate water source. But that is in time to come. Continue to explore a little bit. Still haven't found anything that's actually new in this particular update. But we want to set up a strong base before we worry about that. Well, thank you for watching. I will see you in a future episode where I continue to advance this base and eventually find out what some of the new features are in this game. Until then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you then.